Hello, this is Brian Yanas, Assistant Public Works Director, presenting a public hearing on proposed solid waste refuse rates and introduction of an ordinance establishing new solid waste rates and fees for the City Council meeting of March 19th, 2024. Recommendation that the City Council, 1, hold a public hearing to receive public testimony and consider all protests concerning the adoption of an ordinance establishing new solid waste user rates and fees. 2, approve the first reading by title only and waive any further reading of an ordinance titled An Ordinance of the City Council of the City of Oxnard to establish new solid waste rates and fees for customer use and service from the city's Environmental Resources Division. 3, find that the California Environmental Quality Act, CEQA, does not apply to the ordinance that modifies the city's solid waste refuse rates according to the Public Resource Code sections 21080B8 and 21083 in conjunction with the exemption listed in Title 14 California Code of Regulations section 15273. The Oxnard Environmental Resources has 34,000 residential customers and 5,000 commercial property customers. These customers produce 590 million pounds of municipal solid waste. In addition to that, these customers generate over 49 million pounds of recycled material and 44 million pounds of organic waste. The recycled material and organic waste are sorted and diverted from the landfill. How much waste is it? 590 million pounds, weighs almost as much as the Empire State Building. The Empire State Building weighs 730 million pounds. Operations. Environmental Resources has a weekly collection of 40 residential and commercial and industrial routes. The Del Norte Regional Recycling and Transfer Station employs 180 employees. These employees sort and prepare materials for transfer. The transfer material, recyclables, yard waste, and food waste and trash are transported to the appropriate locations for proper disposal. Recyclables are baled and sold on the open market to be used by manufacturers locally and worldwide. The yard waste collected is hauled to Agriments, a facility in Santa Paula for composting. The food waste collected is hauled to Agriments facility in Simi Valley for composting, and trash is hauled to the Waste Management Simi Valley landfill for disposal. The proposed rate change. The proposed rate change is for 5 years, beginning July 1st, 2024. Examples of some of the rate changes is the 96-gallon residential, the 64-gallon residential, and the 4 cubic yard 1 times a week commercial. The 96-gallon residential current rate is $30.78. If approved on July 1st, 2024, the rate will be $47.41. The 64-gallon residential currently is $24.70. July 1st, 2024, if approved, would be $39.33. The 4 cubic yard 1 time a week for commercial customers is currently $230.86. July 1st, 2024, it will be $230.29. The proposed rate change again is for 5 years, each year beginning July 1st all the way to July 1st, 2028. Incremental increases will be made to the monthly bill. This cost of service study is available online at www.oxnard.org/refuse rates. Some of the highlights from the cost of service study and the rate and fees is one, combining single family and multifamily 3-cart curbside service into a single class of service, recognizing that the service is the same for both classes. The city offers 2 refuse service levels at 64-gallon and 96-gallon to meet the needs of smaller and larger household sizes. 2, creation of a mobile home class of service and rate for 3-cart service that mirrors the standard residential 3-cart rate structure, which has been reduced by approximately 8% to reflect the exclusion of IUF payments, which does not apply to mobile home parks. 3, addition of new commercial bin container size service offerings of 1 cubic yard through 4 cubic yard organic bin collection and disposal service. 4, separation of the commercial rate structure for recycling and green waste. While the city has very few commercial green waste bin service customers, the collection costs for recycling and green waste are equivalent. However, due to differences in the disposal costs, separation of the rate structure for these services is warranted. 5, simplifying the commercial industrial rate structure for roll-off service by charging a single pool rate for all customers regardless of bin size. In conjunction with this rate structure change, an additional bin rental fee is recommended, and this fee will vary based on the size and cost of the bin. Disposal costs will continue to be based on the actual weight of material disposed of at the applicable tip fees proposed in the revised rate structure. This rate structure would also apply to and replace the city's current commercial bin rental service fee structure for roll-off service where bins exceed 4 cubic yards. 6, addition of new tip fees at the Del Norte facility for single stream recyclable and organics. The recycling tip fee only applies to customers who do not currently pay monthly collection rate for collection service within the city. 7, 1 and 3 cubic yard bins available for qualified commercial customers. Currently, we only have 2 and 4 cubic yard bins available. And lastly, 1 free curbside bulky item pickup per residential customers per year. Up to 5 bulky household items are allowed. Refuse rate history. The rates have not increased over the past 11 years. The last rate increase was January 2013, which was a 1% rate increase. March 2013, there was a pass-through of 2.9%. And in January 2017, pass-through of 1%, followed again by another pass-through January 2018 of 1.7%. However, in January 2021, there was a reduction of 3.5%. This is the rate history over the last 11 years. The current monthly rate is for residential is $30.78. So since 2013, there has been a 63-cent increase. Through the years, there's also has been inflation. The garbage and trash index has increased by 20% since 2020. A weighted producer price index of the cost inputs to garbage collection service and estimated cost increases may be closer to 40% since 2020 due to labor costs, capital costs, and fuel costs. This graph shows the increase since 2020. Sample of some of the increases: a gallon of milk, 19%, a dozen of egg, 150%, the cost of a gallon of gas, 55% over the last 10 years from 2013 to 2023. As well as natural gas has gone up 82%, electricity 31%, and the purchase of a vehicle approximately 29%. ER cash balance estimate. Projected cash revenues for fiscal year 2025 is a deficit of approximately $10 million without any rate adjustment, in 2029, the deficit would be over $120 million. This graph shows the operating budget and the reserve target. If there's no rate increases, the deficit again goes from 10 million in fiscal year 2025 to over 120 million in fiscal year 2029. The Consumer Price Index has also had increases from 2013 and 2020 and 2023. What consumers pay for the refuse service nationwide has increased faster than inflation for the price of food and other items, yet Oxnard rates have remained significantly lower. This graph shows the national trash rate along with Oxnard residential rates. This graph is a single-family rate, which includes CPI, IUF, and pass-throughs. This graph shows from October 2012 through January 2023. It shows the actual rate, the CPI cumulative increase, and the single-family base rate. There also has been state unfunded mandates over the years. AB 341, adopted in 2012, is a mandatory commercial recycling. And in January 1st, 2016, a mandatory commercial organics, AB 1826. And in July 1st, 2020, there was AB 827, which expanded the mandatory commercial recycling and the mandatory commercial organics. Effective January 1st, 2022, SB 1383 was implemented, which requires Oxnard to provide organic waste collection services to all residents and businesses. Efficient efforts. Annually, City Council adopts a budget. This budget is reviewed quarterly by city staff for expenses and revenue. Grants are also applied for to reduce costs of state mandates and other operational programs. Staff looks for partnerships, partnering with other departments and organizations to share costs when possible. Bids are done. The city uses the lowest qualified bid to obtain the lowest cost for materials and contracted services. Outreach education is done by staff to promote programs to engage and inform community members of appropriate services and proper disposal of materials. There's also capital investments. Capital investments including CIP. There's projects such as a compressed natural gas facility at the Del Norte facility, refuse truck replacement, a roof replacement at Del Norte facility, a scale house and truck weigh scale, and video surveillance system. The rate setting goals was 1, to cover operations and maintenance, 2, to cover capital investments, 3, legally compliant, 4, promote financial viability, 5, to incorporate community values, and 6, fairness and equity. Input and considerations. The rate study was recommended for the next 5 years. There was pass-throughs. This included pass-through options to avoid underestimating factors outside the city's control. Capital improvement program, CIP, and a capital outlay, which allows for projects and capital outlay at a rate within existing resources. A reserve fund balance budget, and debt coverage ratio. City utility comparison. This table shows the city of Oxnard monthly cost of refuse per person per household. The average monthly refuse cost per person for the city of Oxnard is $7.70. City of Ventura, $14.57. City of Camarillo, $12.69. City of Thousand Oaks, $10.58. Port Hueneme, $8.37. This graph is the average monthly refuse cost per person. As you can see, the city of Oxnard is the lowest on this table. Proposition 218. In early February 2024, the city mailed Proposition 218 notices containing the proposed refuse and rate increases to property owners and ratepayers. The city established a public hearing for these proposed rates for March 19th, 2024. In addition to Proposition 218 requirements in City's Resolution 14,877, city staff and Raftalis presented at City Council and community meetings. There was 9 meetings that staff attended. November 14th, 2023, Public Works and Transportation Committee meeting. November 15th, 2023, community meeting at South Oxnard Center. December 5th, 2023, a City Council meeting. December 13th, 2023, a community meeting at City Council Chambers. January 30th, 2024, a community meeting at City Council Chambers. February 27th, 2024, Public Works and Transportation Committee meeting. February 29th, 2024, a community meeting at South Oxnard Center. March 4th, 2024, City Council meeting. And March 6th, 2024, Inter-Neighborhood Council Organization meeting. These 9 meetings took place prior to the March 19th, 2024 public hearing. Financial impact. Requesting solid waste rate increases, taking the necessary steps to improve the financial performance and reduce the possibility of future bond rating downgrades. 2, to straighten the solid waste system's financial standing, rates must be increased. 3, to provide revenue that will meet sustainable critical operations and maintenance and fund capital expenditures. A corresponding rate adjustment is recommended. This concludes the presentation, and staff is available for questions.